Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Before I discuss today's case, I'd like to mention my Christian suspense book series, Never As It Seems. The first book in this series is free until Saturday to read on any device on the Kindle app. And you can get the second book, Sins of the Mothers, for 99 cents. But you can get that for free if you get Kindle Unlimited, which is like Amazon's streaming service for books. You can get a 30-day free trial or get a 2-month free trial for paying 99 cents, which will later turn into a $9.99 monthly fee. The link will be in the description box. Today, I'll be discussing the unsolved disappearance of Kristine Kupka. As I researched this case, I saw that it was filled with so much drama. There wasn't much of a mystery to this case other than the fact that no one knows where Kristine is, but there seems to be some sketchy person in all of this. I encourage you all to do your own research with this case and not just look at my video for all of the information. Here we go. Kristine Kupka was born on March 3rd, 1970 in Madison, Wisconsin to an Ellie Bodell, and for the life of me, I cannot find the name of Kristine's father. I do believe that Kristine is the youngest of 6. People have described Kristine as a romantic, someone who is feisty, intelligent, loved music, loved reading, passionate, opinionated, independent. She did work as a waitress at a restaurant called Nedril, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a Caribbean restaurant. Kristine also studied philosophy at Baruch College while she was living in Brooklyn, New York, and she had a 3.97 average. She planned on attending law school in hopes of specializing in women's issues after getting into a law career. She was pretty much content with life. While at college, Kristine had an adjunct chemistry instructor, and I don't know exactly what an adjunct chemistry is. I know I kind of sound stupid saying that. I kind of feel pretty stupid for saying I don't know what adjunct chemistry is. If you know what it is and you want to tell me, go ahead and say that in the comment section. I didn't have the time or the energy to look that up. But regardless of that, she had an adjunct chemistry instructor named Darshanad Prasad, who also went by Rudy, and he was known to be very respectable. After completing the class, they grew closer, eventually forming a romantic relationship. Though there was romance in this relationship, like every relationship, there was complications, but in this specific relationship, it was more complicated than usual. She did eventually get pregnant around 1998, and she was 28 at the time. But Rudy was not happy to hear that Kristine was carrying his child. After hearing about the pregnancy, Rudy begged Kristine to have an abortion, which she refused to do. Thing is that she was actually pro-choice, and I know that there are women who would have their unborn child killed in order to keep a man. Again, Kristine wasn't like that. She was independent, and she wanted to keep her child, and was really excited to keep her baby and raise her baby with or without Randy's help. Randy's explanation for the abortion was that he feared his family would disown him and that his wife would leave him. Yes, Randy was a Rolling Stone. He was married, and Kristine didn't know that until after her pregnancy. He wasn't even claiming the child was his. He had the story saying that he had a vasectomy, but Kristine was pretty dedicated to this relationship, and she clearly was never unfaithful to Rudy Prasad. So Prasad basically admitted that he lied about the vasectomy. Those in Kristine's life were told that she was afraid Prasad was going to harm her or their child, but she eventually believed that Prasad wasn't going to cause any harm. Kristine accepted that her relationship with Prasad was over, but wanted him to be a part of the baby's life and wanted him to support the baby with any necessary financial needs, and rightfully so. Like, it takes two to make a baby, so it should take two to take care of a baby. Kristine even went out of her way as to call Prasad's wife, letting her know that she didn't want to disrupt the marriage, but wanted the baby to be a part of Prasad's life. She even planned on giving her baby the last name Prasad. Prasad's wife definitely wasn't happy to hear that her husband was sleeping around, and I would imagine that Prasad definitely wasn't happy that Kristine called his wife. Kristine hadn't heard from Prasad until October of 1998, and she was 5 months pregnant at this time. He came to her house saying that his wife kicked him out and was staying with a cousin. Prasad seemed to have grown accustomed to having this baby in his life, even coming up with names for the child, and offered to be Kristine's birthing coach. This new outlook he had on life still seemed pretty suspicious to Kristine, like, since she remembered that he begged her for the abortion earlier on and even wanted him to work things out with his wife. But here's the thing: the story about him being kicked out by his wife was false. On October 24th, 1998, Kristine had a roommate named Oslem. I believe that's how you say her name. She said that Kristine left, but Prasad came by earlier on, and to the roommate, Prasad seemed a bit off, as if he were nervous. What no one in Kristine's life realized was that this was the last time she'd ever be seen. Since Kristine didn't show up back home, her roommate Oslem contacted Kristine's family to inform them that she hadn't come back home. Of course, this is distressing to hear about your loved one. So Kristine had a sister named Kathy, and her husband Kevin took their son Marshall, who was a toddler at the time, and reported Kristine missing. But since Kristine was an adult, the police had to wait a bit longer, stating that Kristine probably went on vacation without telling anyone. Kristine's sister Kathy was 100% sure that Kristine would never do anything like that. Kathy's husband, Kevin, and a friend of Kristine's named Nick arrived to Prasad's family home. And, in order to make a long story short and make sense, Prasad's family called the police on Nick and Kevin, and while they were basically being dragged away from the home, they demanded that Prasad tell them where Kristine is and what he possibly could have done to her. But of course, Prasad claimed that he didn't know where Kristine was, and claimed that the last time he saw her was when he dropped her off at a mall, but didn't remember which mall. Like, how could you forget? Like, a mall's a big place, and how do you forget where you dropped somebody off at, like, a mall? Like, I don't know. It's like it's really not really making sense in my brain, because there's like a couple of malls that are in my area, and I can go ahead and tell the difference. So I'm not gonna ramble about that. After this encounter, Kristine's loved ones asked around the neighborhood, seeing if people might have seen her, but it still didn't help with discovering Kristine's whereabouts. Police were eventually involved with the investigation and did question Prasad, who was cooperative but admitted that he didn't have an alibi during the time of Kristine's disappearance. I know that's weird. I know that you know that's weird. I don't know why the police didn't think that was weird, because if you don't have an alibi and you have this history with your baby mama and she's missing, you would think that red flags or red lights or whatever would be, kind of snapping or flashing in your mind. And once again, to me, that makes no sense. Later on, Kristine's family hired their own private investigator who believes that Prasad was involved with her disappearance. And in 2010, about 12 years after Kristine's disappearance, the police finally decided to search a shop that belonged to Prasad's parents. But after searching, they found nothing that could lead to Kristine's whereabouts or tie Prasad and Kristine's disappearance together. Over the years, Kristine's family have done their best to see this case get solved and publicize it. Unfortunately, Kristine's mother, Ellie, passed away without knowing what happened to her daughter and unborn grandchild, and that really honestly just breaks my heart. If there's a lesson to be learned from this case, it is to be very careful who you have kids with. It has been almost 23 full years since Kristine and her unborn child have been missing. Unfortunately, Kristine's loved ones do believe that she and her unborn child are no longer with us, but are still set on finding Kristine to give her a proper burial. To this day, they still believe that Prasad is responsible for the disappearance of Kristine and her unborn child and want justice as they rightfully deserve. I do pray for Kristine's family, and I can't imagine the pain they go through not having Kristine in their lives for so long and have no idea where she is. And also, it's a shame that they were robbed from getting to know her child. The God that I serve, the God of the Bible, is an all-seeing God and a God of justice. He knows exactly what happened to Kristine and her unborn child that day and will make sure that justice is served. I thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please hit the like button. If you have any thoughts on this case, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you'd like to see more videos from me, feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If there's a certain true crime case that you'd like me to cover, let me know. I'll see y'all for the next True Crime Tuesdays, and I'll talk to y'all later.